Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to cut a bias binding. The reason you want to do a bias binding is because as you go around the corners and as you go along the length, a regular binding would want to distort a little bit. And so if you cut it on the bias, it helps with the stretch and the rippling. And if you try one way and one another way, you'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll always want to do a bias cut. Occasionally, like on this one, I was just lazy and didn't do bias, and I did everything wrong. Normally I'll show you how to do this later, but this was back in the beginning of binding before I found out about bias cuts. I did it just straight stitches across, so then you have more bulk. This is not bias cut, so as you go, you're going to have more. It's stiff. It doesn't have the stretch and the give, so it doesn't give you as nice and pretty a binding. So this is how you fold. So what you're going to do is you're going to put up here, wrong side. Wrong side goes up. Now ignore my selvage because I had to use a smaller piece of fabric here because I'm having trouble with my cameras. So I'm just doing a sample size. Normally you'd do this with a yard or a yard and a half or whatever you need for the quilt you're using. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your fabric right sides down. You're going to put your bias at the here. You want bias or selvage, sorry, your selvage edge here and your selvage, these will be your selvage edges. Okay, so you got your selvage edge laid out. And then you're going to pull this top corner over all the way across, and let me fix the camera angle for you here. You're going to bring this all the way across, and you're going to have this triangle. And be really good if you press your fabric before you start. But okay, so now we've got this nice triangle. And then you're going to bring this top corner up, and you're going to bring it over to this corner. And now you're going to have what looks like this. So let me see if I can get this in the camera for you. So basically you've got this peak. Then you will bring this corner over here. You're going to bring this opposite corner right here. You're going to bring it toward this corner right here. You're going to bring it down and fold it like so. You'll have this tail, and you're just going to flip this right underneath. So now you've got this odd looking shape. Now you're going to trim off this edge right here. You're going to trim. And I obviously need a new blade. Okay, you're going to trim that. And then we're going to do 2.5-inch strips. And I just measure mine this way because it's a better visual for me. But that's my 2.5-inch strip right there. Some people do 2.25. I like a 2.5. So you're going to just go along and trim and get 2.5-inch strips all along until you get to the end. And then I won't make you watch me do all that, but you can cut all the way down and you'll get all the strips you need. Then you'll have these great bias strips. You'll have a whole bunch of them. Let's see, where'd they go? All right, so we're gonna have all these nice strips. And then when you go to sew them together, you're gonna put right sides together. And when you stitch, you're going to stitch across here. And I don't know if you can see, but you've got these little triangles right here, little corners. And you're going to stitch across right where my ruler is. Right here is where you will stitch. And then when you're finished, you will have strips that are not only bias bound, but you will have them on an angle here so you don't have these funky things that I showed you earlier. You won't have this. You will have a beautiful angled strip. And I will take this over to the machine and show you there in just a minute.